Wow, the order in which I do Sonic games is really all over the place, isn't it? Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Sonic Advance! Or as some people like to refer to it, the original Sonic the Hedgehog 4. And that's partially because we have 4 playable characters right off the start. We got the usual Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. But starting off in her first playable appearance in the 2D games is Amy Rose as well. She was of course playable in the first, even the first 2 Sonic Adventures counting multiplayer before this, but we're just going to be starting off with Sonic. We're going to be showing off every character in their playstyles as we progress through. And starting off, we're in Neo Green Hill Zone, which looks like a beach at first, but eventually becomes the usual fare we're used to. Now, Sonic Advance is a little bit interesting in that, even compared to its sequels, it's the closest thing to a classic Sonic game 2D Sonic got for a while, until arguably the actual Sonic 4. But we do have some new abilities to compensate. We still have the usual insta-shield for Sonic 3 where you can press jump and then press jump again to do a little bit of a shield. But you can also do a minor air dash by pressing left or right twice while jumping and just get a little bit of forward momentum. You can press B twice in rapid succession while on the floor to do a bit of a spin dash and then just a straight up rolling state into a spin kick of sorts, which is also from the Sonic Adventure games, but I'll be real, it's never useful to me. You can also do another B attack after that to skid along the ground to damage enemies. And if you press the A button during the little somersault in particular you can do by just mashing the B button, you can do a little bit of a backflip that I think goes a bit higher than a normal jump. It's not very useful, honestly. Sonic in this game is probably the vanilla character to me, as even though he has all those extra abilities, it wasn't until Advanced 2 that he got super interesting abilities. Now, I was playing this stage pretty carefully because hidden throughout 7 stages in the game are these special springs, and if you jump on them when you have 50 or more rings, you get sent into this game's special stages. The easiest to reach special stages in the Advanced sub-series, but arguably my least favorite. It's sort of a spin off the half-pipe we've been seeing all over the place since Sonic 2, only now it's a full circle, and the depth perception here, partially because of the Game Boy Advance screen, is not great. You can move in any of the 4 directions you want. In fact, I think you can move diagonally, so yeah, you can move in 8 directions. And A and B do very specific actions. I believe it's B does a little spin move, which you can do in certain little rings to get extra bonuses. And A sends you hurtling down at a faster speed, and also immediately brings you to the center of the screen. You can use that to dodge certain projectiles, essentially. Like the Sonic 2 special stages, there are bombs littered all over the place that if you hit, you'll lose some rings. You need to reach certain ring counts by certain checkpoints in the stage that aren't exactly the best marked to get the Chaos Emerald at the end of them. Thankfully, you can get the Chaos Emeralds with any character, as long as you get all 7 of them across all the characters, because each particular special ring only gives 1 Chaos Emerald, or special spring only gives 1 Chaos Emerald, until you've beaten the game, at least. I believe at that point you can say, come to this particular special spring to just farm them all in order, but I'm going for them all in order. They take some getting used to, but they're arguably also... actually, aren't these the easiest special stages in the Advance series? The Sonic Advance 2 ones get easy. It's just that getting to them is a complete pain in the ass, because Sonic Advance loves getting more and more annoying with every progressive game in one way or another. You also get to continue for reaching, I believe, a certain amount of... Oh, no, it's not points. It's littered within every single special stage. There's a Chow, the little adorable guys from Sonic Adventure, just kind of vibing in space, and if you grab them, you get a free continue. The acts in this game aren't too terribly long on average. I'd say they're about usual length for a Sonic game relative to the speed you get. Only a couple of them are aggressively long. Neo Green Hill itself, though, is about as vanilla a first stage as you can get for Sonic games nowadays. You got the introductory loop-de-loops, you got the springs, you got coconuts, I think, even in this stage. By and large, it's very simple. The only real standout mechanic here, probably, is it introduces another thing that was added for Sonic Advance. There are occasionally little trampoline-like platforms, the appearance of which might vary depending on the act you're in, of course. Or zone you're in, rather. But they work like proper trampolines in that the more you bounce on them, the higher you'll bounce. Honestly, they're not too effective to me because I feel they kind of slow down the pace, but oh well. With that said, the speeds you can reach in Sonic Advance are pretty good. I do feel, though, that the stage designs as we progress through are a little bit like Sonic 1 in that some of them aren't the most conducive to actual speed. Sonic Advance 2 definitely got better in that regard, then Sonic Advance 3 immediately went the exact opposite direction. Interestingly, though, growing up, I didn't have Sonic Advance 1. This was the only one of the trilogy I didn't have. I got Sonic Advance 2 and 3 through those book orders you used to do at, like, elementary schools and shit. And I had trouble beating them. At the end of every second act, as usual, is a boss fight against good old Eggman. In this fight, it's kind of a spin off the drill car from Sonic 2, only this time it's a hammer that bounces left and right as he moves right to left and then left to right. The only little new thing the bosses have in this game in terms of, like, mechanics is that when they're in their last HP or two, they get a new attack in a bit of a pinch mode, something the actual Sonic 4 would later do. In this case, he starts bouncing off his hammer, but as you can see, you can just spin dash through him and it doesn't cause much of a problem at all. And that's Neo Green Hill. Thankfully, you can't get crushed by the animal capsule at the end. It's a starting Sonic stage. It's nothing too hard, nothing too interesting, but hey, you can reach some good speeds in it, so it gets the okay in my book. And with that, we're immediately on to Secret Base Zone with Tails. With that said, I should note, the way this game works is that every single character is essentially its own separate save file. So with every respective character, I'm having to play up to the point we're going into. So I had to just play through Neo Green Hill as Tails. I would honestly recommend just playing through the game as Sonic all the way first before coming in to play as anyone else, though. Secret Base's mechanics are sort of a spin-off Metropolis zones in a couple ways. You got ropes you can spin up and down on, and depending on when you jump, you'll either go up or down. You got little zip lines all over the place that can help you get from one place to another, conveyor belts, bouncing platforms. It's all neat. As for Tails in this game, though, he's by and large the same as he was in Sonic 3, at least onwards. You can press A after jumping and he'll begin flying, and if you tap A, he'll just slowly gain height, and you can use the D-pad to control your direction. If you hit enemies with his tails while he's flying, they will get destroyed. If you hit him with your body, you won't. You'll just flop. If you try to fly underwater, in one of the few cases you actually can be underwater in this game, that's only namely in one zone, Tails will also swim like in Sonic 3. With that said, I believe he's still susceptible to the usual air stuff. As for the new attacks, Tails got this time around. You can press B to swing your tails around, like in Sonic Adventure. By and large, Advance is what if we took some of the Sonic Adventure techniques and put them into a 2D space. And some of them get really interesting, others not so much. By and large, though, Tails might be my favorite character to play as, just because I like the ability to fly, and I like how simple his moveset is. If I'm not playing as Sonic, I'm probably playing as Tails. Not to say Knuckles or the other characters are bad, I just think some of them just don't get as many interesting things you can do in the individual levels. With that said, you're going to be noticing that I was a lot more reckless, not quite reckless, that's not the right word, a little more expedient with my progress in that stage, whereas in Secret Base Act 2, I'm going to be a little more reserved. That is because I am deliberately acting a bit safer in stages where the special stage springs are, as I don't want to lose my 50 rings. Because, again, those special springs are only in those 7 specific acts throughout the game, and I'm trying to get them all through in one fell swoop. It's not like, say, Sonic 2, where you can get the the special stages in any stage by and large, as long as they have checkpoints, or Sonic CD, and more or less a lot of the other Sonic games where you can get special stages by and large in any stage. But as for my first experience with Sonic Advance, I think my first time playing the first one was early emulator days for me, because I wondered how the first one turned out. Because looking back, I think it was the only Sonic game that wasn't like the Sonic X episodes that I didn't own on Game Boy Advance. No, besides the pinball one, now that I think about it as well. Because I owned Advance 2 and 3, I owned Battle, I loved Battle, I played a lot of Battle despite getting stuck at that one fight with Rouge you need to do as, I think, Emerald, or vice versa, very often. Sonic had some interesting stuff on the Game Boy Advance. But we want to head up on this little pathway on top of this loop-de-loop, though, because this is where our second special spring awaits. And it's here I should note, every character plays the exact same in special stages. There are no actual character differences besides the sprites, and not for nothing. The Sonic Advanced sprite work in all 3 games is absolutely phenomenal. They did some really great stuff at DIMS in this era. And even then, I think DIMS had some good animation ideas as they progressed forward. Whether or not their stage designs did is another question entirely. As you progress through the special stages, they tend to place bombs more regularly, place the rings in more awkward to reach locations from the last set, and in general, and this is the biggest difficulty spike, increase the ring checkpoint totals. And they do get pretty strict later on, not for nothing. The last special stage in particular is, you usually cut that within, I'd say, 10 rings, in my experience. And part of it is just due to the depth perception. The way they try to add depth is the little dithering effect you can see going on, where they get darker and darker blue squares more regularly as they go down into the tube. But it just doesn't work for the sprites the way it should. And I can't but wonder if that's why the special stages moving forward in Advance went for, in the case of Advance 2, more of a Sonic CD style, or in Advance 3... I don't know how to describe Advance 3s. It's not exactly directly correlatable to another Sonic special stage, aside from the fact that it's the usual grab rings while on something. Actually, you know what? Maybe Afterburner's a good comparison of all things. Also, this game's soundtrack is phenomenal. This is one of my favorite, like, stage clear themes in the series. It's so funky, despite it being very short. The Secret Base is also incredibly funky. We'll get to my favorite song later on. Again, Sonic music's never really been bad, outside of maybe Sonic Shuffle. It's been a while since I listened to that. And they use the Sonic Advance. I mean, yes, the Game Boy Advance sound chip to good effect here. Which is impressive because not many... Well, I shouldn't say not many did that. Not many ports to Game Boy Advance or shovelware did that. A lot of the original games could usually do pretty well. Zero Mission is probably the only thing close to a remake that did well on it, because even the Final Fantasy stuff, that suffered. I'm looking at you, Dawn of Souls. Although I guess Dawn of Souls was technically just a port of the PlayStation version, wasn't it? Now, I'm gonna say right now, there's probably faster routes I could be taking in some of these stages. It usually comes down to the fact that I just don't have as much experience in Advance 1 as I do Advance 2 onwards, or even every other game in the series, really. But now we're on to the second boss against Eggman. Springbot. He'll bounce left and right slowly. Occasionally, I think every 3 to 5 bounces, doing a mega bounce that he tries to directly land on top of you during. I believe if you're on the floor when that happens, either you take damage or you get stunned due to this little screen shaking effect. I actively forget what his pinch attack, though, is, if he even has one in this boss fight. But that Secret Base, it's more difficult than Neo Green Hill, but it's also more interesting, I feel, due to some of the added mechanics. And Tails himself is pretty fun to play as, probably my favorite character in the game, period. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 2, we're taking a look at Knuckles the Echidna. See you guys then.